10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
I want to share something with you in the next 5 minutes that may just give us a clue into what the spirit of offense looks like in the spirit realm. What am I talking about, offense? I'm talking about when you get angry, bitterly angry with someone else, what kind of an effect does it have on you? People even say that certain sicknesses, like cancers and so on and so forth, can start with a spirit of offense. I'm not saying everyone who has cancer, that's not what I'm saying, but sometimes it can start that way. But my story begins about 20 years ago. I'm in business with another brother. This is just after I became a Christian, so I was a young Christian, and something went wrong, and I felt like he stabbed me in the back. As a matter of fact, I got really angry about it, really angry. So angry that I started thinking about doing things. How could I sort of affect this guy? He loved his car. I could maybe get some acid, put it on his car, all this kind of stuff. I had bad thoughts. You know, there was one day I wanted to pray, and I literally sat down to pray, but I just couldn't bring myself to that place of prayer. And then, I'm not sure if I fell asleep or if I was still awake, but I had a vision. And that's quite biblical to not know. Paul said he didn't know if he was in the spirit or out the spirit, but I suddenly found myself in the same room, but yet the room had a sort of surreal quality to it. It's like I knew I was in the same room, but it just felt different. In hindsight, I'd say I was seeing into the spirit realm. So all of a sudden, I take a look down at my arm, and I'm aware at this point that I'm unable to pray, and I'm aware of this bitterness that's in my heart. But I look down at my arm, and just about here, if I bare my arm, just here on my arm, I see something that literally horrifies me. I see a spider. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a real problem with spiders. I'm not afraid of them, I just don't like them. And here this thing had dug its talons into my arm. And I'm telling you, I have a reaction at this point. I mean, I start to cry, I'm trying to get this thing off my arm, and I cannot move it. So I start crying out to God. I said, Lord, can you get this thing off me? Can you get this thing off me? And then, you know, the Spirit of God spoke to me. And he said, that, son, is offense. I said, offense? Offense? I'm not offended. He said, yes, you are. I said, well, can you remove it, please? Can you remove it? But I began to cry to God and say, no, honestly, Lord, I forgive. You need to give me the offense. And with that, I said to the Lord, okay, Lord. And I just remember kind of being able to grab this offense from deep in my heart and just literally hand it to God and say, look, I'm giving it to you. And I remember seeing a hand come and just take that away from me. But then when I looked at my arm, it was still there. It was still there. Now I'm really getting scared. And the Spirit of God said, if you did not forgive with your heart, not only is this the result in the spirit realm that you cannot see, but equally, you might even miss heaven. And let that be a warning to someone. You can't see the effect of offense on the inside of you or in the spirit realm, but it affects you. You may not be able to see it, but it affects you. And so I said, well, Lord, can you get rid of it? And all of a sudden, in front of me appeared a golden dagger. It was made of gold. It was pure gold. It had an ivory handle and a serrated edge. And the Spirit of God said to me, pick it up and cut it loose. And I remember picking this thing up, and I began to saw away at this spider on my arm. I began to saw away at it. And then one by one I heard the limbs, the talons begin to pop, 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 until it fell loose from my arm. And I woke up from the vision. Why do I share this? Because many of us don't realize that when we harbor offense, particularly against other Christian brothers, there's an effect that it has in the spirit realm. We cannot see it, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. Brothers and sisters, you got someone who's done you something wrong, let it go and let God. Just let your heart be set free from it right now. As you watch this video, I pray that you will be set free from any form of offense that has held you. And as for the spider, I pray that it will return to hell where it belongs. See ya.